Joy comes in the morning light. So I march on to a new song, 'cause I've been marching to that old one way too long. And I gotta move on and take new steps every day, 'cause I know there is got to be another way. And a brighter day, so I march on.
Hello, welcome to Pure Live. It is Friday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And I am so happy to have you all today. We have our wonderful guest that we had last week, part two of some great fun and some great wisdom and knowledge. But you guys know what we do when we start the show off. We start with our sponsors. So here we go. All right. And you guys know I always speak on this organization. I support them 100% because they support me too, 100%. And they are a part of helping this channel thrive, this show. And Pure Live is sponsoring one ticket to their event that they will be having August 27th. So pay attention to the Find the Fake, which we have two today. Two. We having fun today, y'all. Pay attention. All right. And I always forget to mention Pure Live has some gear. Okay. Go to my website, angeljamal.com, angeljamal.net. Okay. And if you go to my website, you can get these shades of Bella Eyewear or blue blockers. If you're trying to be fly like me, you can go to my website, get your 30% off. There it is. All right, without further ado, we are going to bring in our wonderful, lovely, awesomely talented guests, Doctors Aaron and Margaret Jamal.
All right, you kind of sang us in. Hi, hello.
Hey.
Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Thanks for
Mr.
having us
Robin.
again.
Mr.
Thank you
Robin.
for coming
Robin's in the
again.
house.
Yeah. Hey, Robin's in the house. Okay. Yeah, I'm lively today, y'all. So thank you again for coming back. I totally, yes, it is part two. I
Yes,
totally
it is.
appreciate you guys coming back. There was so much that we did not cover last week, so we're gonna get into that. Gonna get more into what Friends of Your Marriage is about, dig even deeper into who the Jamals are, because they're awesome. Okay.
Right.
I mean, they're my parents, but I'm not biased. Like, they're just awesome because that's what people say, and that's the way it is.
Mhm.
All right. So, first
Very
of
kind.
all, I want you to explain. So, your on your website, it's called "I Do Me Too."
Yes.
I do me too.
I
You
do.
want to explain where did that come from?
What comes primarily from the wedding vows. We've done our share of officiating weddings as well, and what's so precious about that that moment, like you try to get they say the shot, right? But the moment in the vows where you say I do, and of course they want both of you to say I do, but the I do and the me too is an agreement,
Right.
right? We're coming in agreement with what it is that we say I do too.
Me
So
too.
absolutely.
And by the way, we were I Do Me Too before the Me Too movement, just so you know.
Oh yeah.
And you can see on Blog Talk Radio, because we had our program years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
It was called I Do Me
Me
Too.
too.
And that was something that we had just kind of talking with each other,
Hmm.
came up with. We say, I do. And we would say that. We say, I do. And we say, me too. And then it kind of snowballed from there. That was one. And then the other is our tagline, together forever and 2 days more.
Hmm.
And that's on our cup. I'm not doing any shameless plugs, but if you get our cup and you get on our website, it says together forever and 2 days more. And that's something that we would say to each other. Actually, he had said that to me first.
Hmm.
He said he remember, we write poems to each other. We used to write poems. When you gonna write me another poem? In fact, that's our challenge for I Do Me Too on the site,
That's
to write
right.
a poem, right? If you look on
That's
there,
right.
we
I
have a
was on
couple
the
of
show
challenges.
on Tuesday.
And he used to write me poems. And he said, I love you forever and 2 days more.
Oh, so
Mhm.
adorable.
And so I said, we're together forever and 2 days more. Yeah.
But yeah, that's where
Says
it
she
came
want a
from.
cup.
Huh? You want a cup? All right, then go to I Do. Me too. Get your cup.
I do. Me
We
too.
want you to have a cup. We want
Mhm.
everybody to have a cup. Everybody
get their
gets a cup.
cup.
You get a cup.
Yeah.
And you get a cup.
And
You
we
get a
talk
cup.
about the cup as well.
Yeah. You know why we use the cup, right?
Why do we use the cup?
We
Because
use,
they don't know.
right. So we use the cup. We actually, like I said, now we're a lot better with our discussions. But we used to talk over each other.
Oh.
And we had gotten better with our discussions. We actually went to some training to learn how to discuss with each other. We uh, would make appointments and everything. And so, what the cup symbolized for us is that whoever's holding the cup, it's their turn to speak.
Mhm.
Oh.
So you hold the cup, you can talk, and it was hard at first because it would be like, okay, give me the cup.
Well, it's more than just it's your turn to talk. It's actually my time to listen as well.
Yeah,
So
whoever doesn't have the cup is your turn, and you have to listen. Not,
just for your chance to speak.
exactly,
Yeah.
but actually listen. And again, I told you one of the things that I would do is write something down, because I'm waiting for my chance to speak, but I might forget. And
Mm.
when we talk, there's just so much is coming out. So
Mhm.
you like make a little note and put it in the cup so that you can have it for later. So,
Mhm.
I mean,
Okay.
we're a lot better where we don't need the cup nearly as much, but it really helped early on in our discussion as we learned better how to speak with each other
Mhm.
and listen.
Okay. Will you please remind the audience, how long have you guys been married?
39 years.
Yeah,
30.
going on 40 in October. Well, no,
OMG.
November 1st, October 30th.
It
There's a
is
story behind that
October
too.
30th. But
Our
okay.
marriage license is November 1st.
Okay, so it happened on a weekend and they stamped it on the first.
It
Okay.
happened on the weekend. That sounds like a blues song. But they stamped it on the first, y'all.
You talking about when we got married and you broke into a blues song. I don't know.
That does sound a little sus there. And you guys, I get this every morning when we pray. Yes. It's a comedy show every morning. Okay. So, and what motivated you to start this ministry dealing with marriage?
Well, one of the things that we've learned to accept and appreciate is that each of us has an opportunity to share our light with others, and to actually not only let people examine your footwork, but share those things it is that you've learned along the way, so that you might be able to help others as well. And so we recognize there seems to be a bit of a shortage, if you will, when it comes to people that are going to be friends of your marriage. And when I say friends of your marriage, I mean, people that are actually rooting for you, praying for you, giving you the guidance and support that you need to stay in your marriage. Not just friends of, oh yeah, you guys look good today, but actually helping you even through your storms. And that's something that I think is critical today. They talk about how difficult it is to last through the storms. But for some people, their whole marriage seems to feel like a storm. And some of the reason for that is that they haven't learned how to celebrate the sunshine when it's there and how to rehearse that sunshine so that when there are difficult times, it doesn't take them over.
Mm-hmm. Also, with us dealing with nonprofit organizations, we get into a lot of statistics and learned a lot about what was going on, not just in the United States, but across the globe. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that really bothered us that we would discuss is how the families have been just fractured and the impact of broken families on children. And on our generation. So you're going to have a generation of people who don't know how to have relationships, who don't know how to get along, who don't know how to love each other. And we really found that statistically, broken marriages have a negative impact on the children and the community.
Yeah. Society as a whole.
Exactly. So if we're going to actually help the world to heal, with our part, besides the Lord, the practices that we have of learning to love each other have to deal with our example as a couple. It's really interesting to me that God uses the example of our relationship with God as a bride, right? As like a marriage, right? That relationship. How can you relate to that if you think that marriages don't work, if that marriages are no good? Right. And so our goal, and mission is to show people examples of marriages that work, that this thing that God put together is really a good thing. And so, I mean, that's part of why we're so passionate about it, because we know that ultimately we all have to do whatever we can, whatever God has given us to help the world to be as good as possible. And it really is going to impact all of us, right? If you have broken homes, you have more, you have higher crime. It says because of the increase of lawlessness, the love of many will wax cold. Well, if people are loving towards each other, that's contagious.
It is.
You like to be around love, and you like to be around joy, and you like to be around peace.
There's even a greater economic impact because as the families flourish, they build legacies, and as they build legacies, they begin to help their children survive, and the succession of their families prosper. So all the way around, there is huge advantages in doing all that we can to minimize and mitigate the challenges that come against family.
Yes.
Notice as well, God never divorces us, no matter how bad we behave, no matter how many times we break promises. He never divorces us. We are never, ever forsaken.
That's
and
right.
For that model that we have there, out of our own gratitude and appreciation of how much he's forgiven us, we try to walk that walk as well.
Indeed.
Okay. All right. I'm going to show this brief clip talking about your yes. The thing that you
talk about our yes.
The thing that you talk about your principles for friends of your marriage.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We had to travel the world of our past to realize it was harder before cause we weren't by each other's side. Maybe it took a little longer to know together we're stronger. That's the way our love survived. Now we've gone through the fire. Love will take us higher, higher than it was before we went through love and war. See the promised land, walking hand in hand. Now that we can understand what we were fighting for, fighting for love, love.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just now noticing the little dancing characters at the bottom. I was like, what is she doing? That was funny. Okay, let me get back on track.
That's right. We got it. We got to do. Oh, by the way, those characters are our avatars, right? Of the people that are hosts of our shows who actually helped us to launch the Friends of Our Marriage portion of our outreach. And so we have other cartoons too. We have Kicking It with the Sloans, which is actually put together to get people to discuss issues. And we have the avatars, and the voice over is actually done by the Sloans, who are hosts of one of the nights of our Friends of Your Marriage. They're on
Mhm.
Monday
Yes,
evenings.
indeed.
So we try to incorporate um, real life situations, but we use the animation too because we found that it's easier to get people to open up and discuss certain issues
Mhm.
when we first presented in animation.
I see. And my voice is on there too.
Yes,
Your
it
voice is
is.
your
Absolutely.
actually for people who don't know, Asia is an amazing voiceover. If you look at Kicking It with the Sloan, Asia has three voices, and I
I
should
think I
have.
have
Is it just
four.
three?
I think it's
It might be
four.
four. It might
Yeah, I
be
think it's
four.
four.
And you will not believe that that's Asia. The first time I heard her, we actually have all of our children in there at one point or another. And because really we had you doing that since you were younger, we introduced them to
Mhm.
voiceovers when they were little kids.
They had
Sure
to work for
And
their
did.
they
food.
did radio.
They had to
Remember?
work for their food.
That's right. Like we had to rehearsing. Remember that? Legacies of
Oh,
faith.
faith, faith, faith.
Right?
I
That's
do
right.
remember.
Oh,
Yes,
you have to check it out. The Kick It with the Slows, and you'll hear it. But it's really good. It's
Mhm.
really
it
catching on,
is.
and they're out of North Carolina too. So,
Mhm.
um,
North
okay,
Carolina.
so
Okay,
okay,
now get
what?
back on track.
So
What?
you had played that, by the way. The those are the
Fighting for
principles.
love.
Fighting for Love is actually Elijah, right?
Mhm.
Our youngest son.
Elijah Jamal.
It's off of
Mhm.
his
Look him up.
album, which is
Broken
Broken
Melodies.
Memories. And when we heard it, we felt like this is an anthem.
Mhm.
That's what we're doing. We're fighting for love.
Mhm.
We're fighting because, it's like
But not
people,
against each other.
right, not against each other. It's like people, love is important. And it's not just saying, I love you. It's like really understanding what love really is, that it
Mhm.
is kind, and love is patient, and love is where you're not mean and you're not rude. Even when we went over those those scriptures, I'm like, man, we need to work on showing love. You know, just imagine if people tried to be loving the way it's described in the scriptures, who would get divorced? Who couldn't stay married with that? I mean, if you really looked at those principles that are outlined in the scriptures, and how that goes. And so what we try to do with those principles is we try to remind people of, this is the way we should be as a couple,
Mhm.
but this is the way we should encourage other people to do too, to be,
Indeed, indeed.
if that
So
makes sense.
it makes a whole lot of sense.
Well, thank you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's dig deep a little bit here. Uh, cause y'all wasn't always on this.
Mm-mm.
You were not always helping other marriages with the Bible and all that good stuff. So, my question to you is, how do you think that you were able to stay together earlier on in your marriage? How did you keep yourselves from breaking up? Because you're both of you being in the music industry in the beginning, that sounds like a very challenging situation, especially since y'all are so good looking and all of that. You have the musician, you got this singer that's also a musician. Well, actually, both of you are singers and musicians. But anyway, you got this whole thing going on, and people probably, testing things here and there. So how'd you do it?
I'm going to tell you one of the advantages that we had um, early in our relationship is that we actually your mom actually did an incredible job of convincing me that we should do duets. Um, when I met, I was used to working with ensemble of people playing in support or whatever. But I was, even though I enjoyed singing and playing, I hadn't imagined doing a duet. The duet thing is really an incredible dynamic because, well, you're both on, you're also both dependent on each other. We need each other for the performance itself, right? Well,
Right.
this wonderful dynamic and chemistry would happen as well because more than not, we were singing love songs. And just check it out, folks. If you're singing love songs to somebody, you might have been mad with them before you started singing, but it's hard to stay that way through the song, through the show. Eventually, you begin to find yourself in a better spot. And we found ourselves over and over again. Sometimes, I mean, to be transparent here, we actually would argue on the way to the gig.
Mhm.
Get
And
out,
sometimes at the
get,
gig.
get out
Oh
the
my.
car, set up the equipment, start the show, and sing to each other because both of us, like you say, are passionate, emotional. um you get into that and you recognize what it is that you're saying, because if you're not bringing it real, then the audience is not going to respond to you, right?
Mhm.
And so as we're doing that, it's like we are reinforcing what we are for each other as well. And
Mhm.
so that was one of the things that helped us tremendously, was just being able to reinforce our marriage over and over again with the songs that we were singing, and some of the songs were things it is that we actually wrote as well. So all the way around, those things helped us to
Music,
work it out.
period.
Yeah.
And when he was saying that, it reminded me of how we use music, even when we weren't, performing for other people. Remember, one time he was real upset with me. We had a really good argument,
Mm.
and he got on the he got. I'm laughing because it's kind of funny, but he got on the piano, right? So he would play, he would get his stuff out by playing. I might sing, I might dance. So he's playing and he's singing,
Just
just
one.
once. Can we find a way to can we figure out what we've been doing wrong?
He
Why the
was
good
singing it to
times
you.
never last too long? And I'm
Absolutely.
like,
Yeah.
is he trying? Is he just once? So that was our language, and so I got to come back to him with, what's love got to do?
Oh, yeah. Official
With
like
these-
Jamal said, should we have mandatory karaoke for couples?
you know what I'm saying?
This is your couples counseling 101.
That's what I'm saying. Music is is for us anyway. It is a very powerful tool in
It
helping us
is.
to relate to each other.
And it's a language. It really
Yeah.
is. It's very much a language. I would say
You do
it
any
improved
angry
our
singing?
communication too, in
Oh
general.
yeah, like I told you, what's love got to do with what is it? I can't remember everything, but um, there were songs that we picked, back then for that. But then at the same time, as we progressed, like we would
Hmm.
sing, tonight I
Hmm.
celebrate my love
Hmm.
for you. We would do that,
Hmm.
right? And we would, every time people would request that we do those love songs.
Hmm.
And every time we do it, of course, we're looking at each other, and I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, man, I love this man. I mean, and we would just sing to each other, and I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
What were
my
we
kind of
arguing about? I
fight.
don't even know.
Hmm.
And I do believe that even that, though, the fact that we were able to do that with each other, I still believe that it had to do with the people praying for us.
Oh, absolutely.
Even before we knew the Lord,
Hmm.
we knew that there were people for prayer. I tell you something else, not just that as far as friends of your marriage is concerned, we had people come up to us and say that if you two broke up, then I don't think I'll ever get married.
Mm,
So it was like at some point, so I
that's
think
deep.
that with friends of your marriage, you encourage people
Hmm.
to be married. And
Hmm.
we had people encouraging us to be married. you know, and really taking that to heart, saying, wait a minute, we got to be a good example. Our marriage is not just unto ourselves, but for other people. Now, once we got saved, we realized that our marriage, again, was not to unto ourselves, but to God, you know. And so we're representative of the Lord. We're representing the Lord in our relationship. And we take that very seriously.
Okay.
His mother.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, we won't let
Even
them
though we have fun with
separate
it.
any either, you know. It's not allowed. They're together forever and ever and ever.
That's, hey, I remember when I was talking to Asia, I said, you know, I was messing around. I'm like, I was upset with you about something. I said, you know what? What if I just leave or something? Asia said, stop playing. It was like, you know, I mean, there were so many couples that was like, okay, the kids are grown. Now we can go our separate ways. She said, stop playing. That's not going to happen. And that's another thing. When you bring your children up in the ways of the Lord, they can also be friends of your marriage, where they won't let you be divorced. There was a plan, right? After we had gone to Lord, I go to that Evelyn Christensen seminar, Lord Change Me. And there was an idea that popped up in my head. And I talked with some of the children about it. I said, this is it. If your dad decided that he wanted to stray for whatever reason, right? Lapse, you know, we would consider, because we're talking about now, you say that he's temporarily insane, right? Then we would have this plan that whoever it is that he wanted to be with, that we would stalk them. Now that I knew Asia up front was going to be on board for that. And so that we would not let him have any peace with Miss Thang, whoever it is, that if he goes to her house, we all go to her house. That's what I'm saying. He's not getting away with it because we know that he's temporarily insane. So he's not getting away that easy. It would be like, where you going? And then he try to sneak around. And then we show up. We say, excuse me, what's for dinner? You know, that's what I'm saying. We ain't gonna let him have no peace with another woman. That just ain't happening.
So for anybody that was thinking about it, just know you will have a whole group of stalkers on your
The whole family. If they saw a family reunion pictures, that's everybody getting involved. You can't have no peace. It's not gonna happen. And so I'm saying, if everybody has that plan, you don't have to worry about your spouse fooling around, because they ain't gonna want to have all that company. Not only that, we loud.
For all of that, what if she's talking about? I ain't never threatened to go to nowhere. So.
That's right.
He ain't going nowhere.
That's right.
He
He ain't going nowhere.
I never
That's
did.
No way.
Never did.
See, that's the plan. That's what y'all gotta remember.
He ain't a plan for something that ain't never happened.
That's why you need friends of your marriage. Because the more people you have,
Spending all this time talking about something that ain't never gonna
it
happen.
ain't never gonna happen.
at all.
That's
Okay.
right.
But I will say this though about marriages, and I know you've got some things that you want to share with us as well, or ask us about. Every relationship, not just marriage, but every relationship has contrasts, right? Well, they're going to be, like it says, good times and there'll be bad times, right? Well, the one thing that I believe stands out in our relationship is that we do not only rehearse the good times, but celebrate the good times so that they become even larger. What we've noticed in a lot of the marriages that are in trouble and coming to us for help and support is they can tell you every time somebody did something bad or even thought something bad. But when we ask them about the times it is that were good, they've got to reach back for it because it's not present. It's not something that they actually talk about a lot. Even if it's something that just happened not too long ago, it's not fresh. And that's because they're not rehearsing it. And I'm saying that's a key component to you going through the storms. You go through the storms and hope to get to a sunshine you know about. You know, if there's no point in pressing for something you never saw before, right? But if you know there's sun on the other side of this, then you press through it and you press through it together.
Right. And that's another reason for friends of your marriage, because you want people who will remind you of how good you are together and why they want to see you together.
Yes.
And even like that, we do practice that. Like we were in the car and we were talking about how when we first got together, some of the things that we did and things we remember. Some of the things that we did, we don't do anymore. We had fun back then, but we just a
No
little
longer my
different now.
testimony.
We can't. Some of them we can't do anymore. Oh, Lord is
Okay.
good.
Well, this is why you're a favorite. We're gonna take a little commercial break.
Okay.
Before we do that, those of you that are on YouTube, this is what I want you to do. Subscribe. I know y'all watching. I see my analytics. Y'all watching and not subscribing. Subscribe. Support. Helps us out.
Yes.
And for those of y'all that are on Facebook and Twitch and Twitter and wherever else I am, LinkedIn, follow me. Because I got you. I got surprises. I got all kinds of things going on.
And you got love. And you pray for your people too.
I do pray for my people.
Pray for her followers. Y'all didn't know that, did you?
I even know. Okay. Now, moving forward to commercial break. We're going to go and move forward with Motives Cosmetics. Here we go. Jamal Rogers, and I'm a singer, songwriter, choreographer, voice actor, and I'm the creator and talk show host of P.U.R.E Live. P.U.R.E is an acronym for Perfectly Undefined Raw Elegance. So naturally, we want our content to be pure, raw, and elegant. It airs live every Friday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube and Facebook. And if you'd like to see all of the episodes, you can reach it at asiajamal.com, ASIAJAMAL.com. Or if you'd like to be on the show, you can reach me at asia@asiajamal.com. Hope to see you soon.
I was just listening. I was asking your dad a question. How you said hope to see you soon. I'm saying, how you gonna see people? In the chat. I got you.
And see them on the show.
And see them on the show. That's what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. What I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. All right. We have 2 final effects for you guys today. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be playing Find the Fake.
Which one is this about that you're going to show first?
You're going to see. What you mean?
Oh, okay.
Now I got to start over. Okay. Oh.
I'm sorry.
I said
She hopes to.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna play
Ain't
Final
you gonna get
Fake.
me tonight?
The object of the
Give me a
game
timeout.
is to pay attention to all of the statements that come across the screen, and you are to determine which one is the fake.
About
If you
us.
select it correctly, you can win a prize. Yes, it is about them, not me. Thank you for the clarification, mother. Um, she won't let me live. Okay.
Because
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. So here's the thing. My mommy would not tell me which one was the fake. So I don't know. I'm not really sure. I think I know, but I'm not really sure.
Because we work so many places together.
I know it's ridiculous. I
I
don't
know.
understand.
It's like we would get a job, I would get a job, then he'd come on, or he'd get a job and we come on. And we work with different companies. We're just going and seeing. We work with family-friendly companies and situations. Just so many different areas that we work together.
Mm-mm-mm. I hope y'all was paying attention, because I'm going to play the other one too. I'm going to play with your heads.
Okay. First, they have to guess the first one.
They're going to have to guess, and they
Which
have to
one
pay
was the one that
attention
didn't
that there's
work?
more than one. I hope
All
y'all
right.
paying attention. Here we go. I'm not really sure about that one either. I narrowed it down to two, I believe. I'm not sure.
As duets, those were songs that we performed. We was telling you as duets. And we sounded like a live band because your dad was a sequencer. He put all the music together.
He's an amazing musician, y'all.
Amazing.
Speaking of musicianship, I told you I had a surprise.
Okay.
Oh, you said you ready to guess? Okay, we'll put the guesses out there and let's see what you got.
What did Robin say, Mr. Robin?
That did nothing. Sorry.
Oh, by the way, that music is Elijah too. By the way, he put the music together for the Final Fake for people.
I didn't know that.
Our youngest son, yeah, he gave us that.
That was Pastor Ray. So you see.
Oh, okay.
Pastor Ray
Hey, Pastor Ray, how you doing, young man?
Okay.
Bless you.
All right. So go ahead and guess, Pastor Ray. I see. Okay. I told them I had a surprise for them. Now, they told us last week and hinted towards this week that they were singing and they were in the music before they even met each other. Right? So there's a certain song that was out there that they didn't do together. Here we go. Surprise!
I know,
Yeah.
right? You saw your daddy. You
I
know.
saw. Did you see that?
That's when you
Handsome
said
dad,
weird.
my handsome
Mhm.
dad, and my uncles.
And your uncle, there's Paul
Absolutely.
Richmond, Rico McFarland,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Daryl
And Daryl and well, Ruben, both
and
Daryl and
Ruben Locke.
Ruben,
Yeah.
unfortunately, have gone.
Daryl
Uh,
Ellis. Yeah.
yeah.
And Ruben Locke.
I saw the look on your face when I played
Yeah.
it. He's like, oh.
That was with Atlantic Records, and that's him
Yeah.
playing in the beginning.
Hmm.
That's his
Well, you know
tag,
what? It was
his
an
line.
incredibly wonderful experience, and I mean, at the same time, we need to acknowledge the fact that we didn't do all of that by ourselves as well. We had Toto playing along with us, James Newton Howard. We had some wonderful talent accompanying us on that. Hawk Walensky, David Hawk Walensky, he actually was the one who wrote "Ain't Nobody." He
Yeah,
produced it. So I mean, we had some incredible talent alongside of us with
and I
that
was
little
in their
band.
video.
Absolutely, she was.
Ooh.
I was one of the girls.
Yeah, wonderful times. I don't talk enough to my brother Paul Richmond and Rico. I do
Who's still
still
playing?
love them enough, and
Hmm.
yeah, both of them in Hall of Fames and stuff. I mean, they're still doing
Hmm.
it and rocking it. I really appreciate the season it is that we had together. That was awesome. So thanks for
Hmm.
playing that.
You're
Hmm.
welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah,
I
with a
wanted to play it
major
all, but
record
I had a
label,
whole show.
Atlantic
Uh,
Yeah.
Records.
then it records, and that song charted and was on the radio,
Yes,
all
it
the good
That's
did.
stuff.
right.
It
Yeah.
was. It was. Yeah.
So, tying it back in to
Mhm.
the topic at hand, my uncles and everything. So,
Hmm.
Mhm.
how did that work? Because I know that you knew, then before you knew my beautiful mother, did they become friends of your marriage? I'm not talking about everybody,
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm saying you knew some of your musician friends beforehand.
Hmm.
So when you guys got together and you decided, this us, this me and you, babe, we doing this. Did they become friends of your marriage?
Well,
Hmm.
as brothers, yes, but I mean, and even I mean, like especially with Paul and Kay, his wife. But it's a different support. Um, our connection had more to do with what we were doing together as a group. We didn't interact as much, as far as the couples are concerned, going afterwards. Even when it is that um, the wives would come to the set, it was still about the band. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't about the relationships of our marriage at that particular point.
Hmm.
So it's a different support. If we had to do it over again, we would probably have done more to embrace the fact that it is that we had the support of our wives. Um, the reality of it is that you don't know how long you're going to be here. Um, and Ruben ended up leaving behind wife and children, I should say. It's difficult. You don't know how long that light's going to shine on you. You don't know how long it is that you have to actually um, build a legacy that's going to live longer than you.
It was hard. It
Yeah.
was hard, really. Like the first when we got married, we were talking about when we got married that day. He left right
Hmm.
after that and was gone for 2 months almost.
Was it 2 months? Well, it was longer than
It
it should.
it was it
It
was
was
long,
longer than we liked. We'll put it
and
that way.
it was
Yeah.
really hard. I don't know how people do it. That do it.
Were you touring?
Marriage. I'm sorry.
Were you touring?
Right.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were
Oh,
touring,
Yeah, we were. We were.
and I was at
mm,
home. You know.
mm.
And it was hard. It was very hard.
Yeah.
Even though it is that we had I mean, we had this wonderful relationship that had already started. um it's just, to me, it's a very uncomfortable thing early in a relationship, middle of the relationship, whenever,
Hmm.
when you have to have long stays away from one another. And especially when it is that you're like that. We didn't have cell phones when that first started. Okay, let's just be real here. Okay,
You're
so
right. They were real big bricks back then. We couldn't afford
yeah,
those bricks.
but it wasn't as easy to connect away from one another as it is now.
And
So
and early on, being a musician, you have to tour in order to get paid. and the funds were not coming in regularly. So it's like, okay, so we're starting a family. How are we supposed to take care of things? So
Mhm.
then I had to figure out what kind of work I was going to be doing,
Mhm.
helping to bring in income.
Which was the case for all of us. All of us that had wives, everybody was trying to figure out how we were going to keep things sustained in those, those spells, those seasons where it is that it wasn't as much coming in. So let me again, what I was talking before about the contrast. I believe that you have to celebrate those good times, right? We had good times, and we had times where things were kind of challenging, and so we learned how to deal with the times that were challenging, and we learned how to celebrate those times that were wonderful, and we depended on each other even
Mhm.
more when those times that were challenging were on us, and they were on us both. They weren't just me or just her. There were times that were difficult for us both.
Mhm.
Well, either we didn't have as much as we wanted to take care of the things it is that were needed, or we weren't behaving the way we wanted to out of being frustrated with the circumstances. So, again, you have to recognize how to help each other through it. You
Mhm.
know,
Especially
uh,
not being, young. We were young,
yeah.
and I wasn't the most secure person.
Mhm.
And so I'm imagining, he's out there on the road with all these women screaming at him and all this temptation and things. I wanted, you're supposed to call me at this time. Why didn't you call?
Right.
Why were you
Yeah.
late calling? What were you doing? Right?
Right.
You
I
know,
hear you.
Mhm.
So let
yeah.
me ask you, for those couples, because it seems like there are so many marriages that are broken up in the music industry with
Mhm.
other celebrities,
Mhm.
and have been together for a long time, and some, not so long. And what kind of advice would you give these couples that are out there in the public like that, to how they would stay together?
Share as much of what it is that you're going with together as much as you possibly can.
Mhm.
The reality of it is that there is a force, if you will, out there that wants you to be apart from one another. It's
Mhm.
easier for you to fantasize about this beautiful woman up there on the stage without thinking about her with her husband, right? So there are those that don't want you to be together, right? You have to
Mhm.
recognize that force is there, but it's not between the two of you. The two of you have to come against that as well and recognize that's a business that you're reaping benefits from, and it doesn't have to become an instrument that would actually separate you.
Well, the other thing I would say too, talk about it and accept, because frankly, we would get into arguments because he didn't want to hear my insecurities. He didn't want to deal. It's like I'm here. I'm here for you. What's happening is in your head. It's not in my head. That's not how I feel. But I'm like, well, I need you to help me to feel more secure,
Hmm.
which means, I'm not saying that I know exactly how to do it, but give me attention, because a lot of times by the time he gets home, he's happy to see me, but he's worn out, right? The other thing is that reassuring me, like sometimes, and I'm not saying everybody's the same way, but sometimes I would have these periods where I was, didn't feel like maybe I was as attractive to him. So him reassuring me by saying, you're beautiful, I want to be with you, or whatever, however you have to do it, overdo it, right? But I believe, what I'm saying is, don't dismiss
Hmm.
the challenges that your spouse is having, whether it's the husband or the wife. Don't dismiss it as if, and say, well, you don't feel that way. You shouldn't feel that way.
Right.
People should respect people's feelings. Whether
Hmm.
you agree with it or not is not the issue. The fact of the matter is if he's feeling insecure, then I need to do whatever I need to do in
Hmm.
order to help him to feel secure. I can't just dismiss it and say you have no reason to worry,
Mm,
right? Even though I
Valid.
feel that way, I need to respect that that's the way he's feeling,
Right.
and I need to do what I can to help him to feel more secure about a relationship. That's what
Hmm.
I'm saying, is that often we don't do that. We're saying, well, you shouldn't feel that way. Well,
mhm,
maybe I shouldn't, but I do. So what do we
right.
do about that?
Hmm.
you
Right.
know,
Okay.
that I think is at the top of the list. Don't dismiss what your spouse is saying about how they're feeling. Let's talk it through, and talk it through until the point that they feel good about themselves and feel good about the relationship.
Mhm.
Okay.
Acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm.
Acknowledge what it is that's going on. Validate it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to amplify it, but validate it's real. At least with
Also,
what's going on with them.
right. Also, have friends of your marriage. So, for example, if you're talking to someone, if he's talking to some woman, and I'm getting a feeling that she likes him, right? And we know, men know if a man is attracted to his wife. Women know if a woman is attracted. And don't tell me she's
No.
just your friend, right?
Mm-mm.
I know what I feel. And the thing is if I feel like that, don't say, well, I have female friends, so that's gonna happen. No. If I don't like your friendship, you don't have it. I am your first friend. I'm your main friend. If it makes me uncomfortable, then we need to deal with that.
Mhm.
And the other
Mm.
way, we need to respect that this is the most important relationship, that no sometime friend should be allowed to come between it. So you don't get upset with me because I don't like that friend.
Mhm.
You understand? I don't get upset with him because he doesn't feel comfortable with my friend. I need to let that friend go.
I would say that we learned to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that we always understood what to do right away.
Right.
We learned, and she's right about. Um, I think I've really underestimated how little I understood about the signs or signals as far as what women were doing. She convinced me that way. It wasn't that okay? I now she schooled me. I know everything now. No, now she's convinced me I don't know enough. So when it is that she's saying, "Babe, this is what's going on," I respect that, and accept that she probably sees something I can't see, or I've got a blind spot too,
Mhm.
and vice versa. She recognizes, it's she's you kind of overreacted to this. Well, that's what she said initially. Now, if it is that I'm stepping up, she's like, oh, okay, something else is going on here. Okay, that's why he's feeling he needs to step up. And
Mm.
so, again, it's a respect that we learned. It wasn't happening all at once. And just because
Mm-hmm.
somebody is attracted to you doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be something between the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
We just acknowledge it and then recognize, what that strategy is going to be to deal with that.
Mm-hmm. And
Mm.
I don't get upset. I'm not angry with another female because they're attracted to him. Of course, he's attractive. I don't blame you. But the fact of the matter is, he's mine. He's not yours, and I'm not sharing. So that's
Period.
that's not what I'm about right now.
Okay.
Oh, we got a question over here.
Okay.
Let's
Okay.
see. What is your advice for the person who has to comfort the insecurities? Because sometimes that person can also get overwhelmed by it.
Okay. So, first of all,
Good question.
it is a good question. I don't know that there is a comfort to it. I think there is a way of you actually building up that level of confidence. I don't know if that confidence turns into comfort because sometimes it doesn't, but um, we've had those times it is where we had to comfort one another through it, but it was still a very awkward or uncomfortable feeling whenever it surfaced. You know what I'm saying? So we still had to do it all over again, and we didn't grow weary of it. That's the other thing. You can't, no matter how many times it happens, you can't say, "Oh wow, we got this again." Come on, I showed you last time that wasn't what was going on. Every time that your spouse is feeling something like that, it hurts. It's a
Yeah.
real bad thing for them to go through, and so you have to dig in and actually help one another through it. Now,
Bring that question back up
I'm,
again while he's answering it, please.
okay. I think it's real important when you say comfort the insecurities, you're not targeting the insecurity. You're actually targeting that thing it is that makes them feel really good about themselves. You become that echo that is positive in their head because usually these insecurities, they're like echoes
Mhm.
of stuff it is that is messing with your attitude, your spirit. It's like over and over again you're hearing this. He's probably doing that. He's probably doing this. Why wouldn't he do this with you? I mean, come on, he's doing it with, look at her. Of course he want to do it. All of those kind of echoes, you need to tear them down
Mhm.
intentionally and replace them with things that are wonderful, positive echoes that she can hold on to, reminder. If it comes down to you singing songs, whatever that is, you replace that echo to the point it is that she has something else to hold on to.
Like what he's saying, you don't focus on the insecure. For example, if something smells really bad, right? You don't keep saying that we got to get rid of the stink. That stinks. That stinks. What you say is, "Ooh, let's make this smell good." So you deal with the positive. If
Mhm.
you keep like trying to lose weight, you don't keep saying I'm fat. You say I'm getting healthy. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? If you're dealing with people's insecurities, you don't use the insecurities to eliminate them. So let's just say the person is insecure about your relationship with
Mhm.
somebody else. Then what you say is, I love you. I do. I love you, and I want you to know that there's nobody else. You're the only one. You're the one I love. I enjoy being with you.
Mhm.
I enjoy doing it. Like you said, sometimes you could feel overwhelmed. I know initially when I would bring things up with my husband, he would be like, okay, I'm not doing anything. I'm just, where's this coming from? And at some point, I felt like this is a burden to him because he's like, "How can I prove this to you? What do I need to do in order to prove to you that that's not me anymore?"
Let
you know.
let me interact with that as well. It's a journey. It's not a
Mhm,
destiny. There
mhm,
will be seasons that come up from time to time. It doesn't mean that what you did didn't work before
mhm.
because it came up again. It's a journey.
Right.
Okay, and you have to address it as that, not like, wait a minute, I thought that was behind me.
Exactly.
You just have to address it as
and,
something
and, and
new.
be patient with it and just be understanding that really insecurities, listen to this is
Hmm.
real important. My insecurities were never about him. They were really about me. it,
Hmm.
it didn't matter. And so as he kept feeding into showing me that he loved me,
Hmm.
the insecurities, and praying for me,
Hmm.
you have to do it prayerfully, then I begin to have more confidence in God,
Hmm.
and then more confidence in him because I had more confidence in God. I don't see that I could have made it beyond that without the Lord.
I agree with her on both sides.
Hmm.
Really, I do believe, and she's right. Hearing your spouse pray for you
Hmm.
is an incredibly powerful thing. Um, and of course, we've had that practice of praying together daily for as long as you've been alive. Okay, and so that practice of praying together, hearing the reinforcement, and actually telling each other or sharing with each other over and over again. She hears from me daily that she's my blessing. Number
Hmm.
one, she is my blessing. But I'm saying I know that that's important as well for me to confess that over
Hmm.
and over again. She is my blessing. The times it is that she said something, did something, was a particular way that wasn't agreeable to me at the time, it is that reminder. She's my blessing, uh,
Hmm.
the gift God gave me that turns me back around. It's not really what she says as much as me reflecting on that.
Hmm.
This gift, this blessing that God has given, He's going to hold me accountable.
Hmm.
I
And,
need to turn this attitude around and start treating her like the blessing and gift that I know she is.
and do whatever you need to remind you. I mean, there were points when we put stuff on the refrigerator, wrote
Oh yeah.
stuff down,
Hmm.
whatever it takes for you to
For you to,
remind
yeah.
yourself that this is your blessing and that this is of God and that you
Mhm.
need to be loving and kind and understanding and patient. Do whatever it takes.
Make it a notification.
Yeah, and that's right. That's right. Okay, I do have a notification on my phone that reminds me to pray. But you and again, friends of your marriage.
Hmm.
Talk to somebody. Tell them. If they're friends of your marriage, you can tell them, look, this is what I'm thinking, and they will know to tell you the opposite.
Hmm.
Hi, Crystal.
Hey, Crystal, how you doing,
Hey,
darling?
Krista.
Good to see
Yeah,
you. Good to see
good
you.
to see
Thank
you.
you for
Well,
joining us. That was a
I
good
didn't.
question.
I
Oh,
was. We
speaking of
are
which,
totally at the end. What,
oh
what did you
Wow.
have to say? What
none
you
of
have
the,
to say?
all I
Oh,
was going to say is that we have been asked, and we are going to be instituting this with Friends of Your Marriage on our program, where it's called Ask right now. It's called Ask a Marriage Coach. Ask the Marriage Coach, or is it Dear
Ask-
Marriage Coach.
Dear
Dear
Marriage
Marriage Coach.
Yeah.
And so people can ask questions. We already are getting questions that we're going to be answering on the program.
Okay.
And how do people send in questions?
Yes,
How did they do it?
they can go to our website, and there'll be a place on there that says "Ask a Marriage Coach." It's not up there now. Right now, you can just send in comments, which is what somebody did.
Dear
Yeah, Dear Marriage Coach.
Yeah.
It'll be there. You'll see something, Dear Marriage Coach, and then you'll just go in there and fill in your information. I don't know about the phone thing for something. You may need a tablet or a computer to do it, but you can try it and see what happens. But do Dear Marriage Coach. Also, you can send us an email. So our emails are friendsofyourmarriage@idometoo.org. Friendsofyourmarriage@idometoo.org. Either way, you can send us your questions.
Remember, it's Friends of Your Marriage.
Friends of Your Marriage.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Go to
All
idometoo.org.
We went over time, and that's okay because I didn't want to interrupt those wonderful nuggets you left us.
Okay.
I didn't see any guesses. Pastor Ray, you said you were ready to guess and didn't guess. Oh, okay. He said you need to have a conference, seminar, or something. These nuggets.
All right. Well, thank you so much for
Praise
joining
God.
us, and thank you for having us again.
Thank you for coming back. It's a little late. So since y'all didn't guess, please help me out because I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. For which one?
With the jobs. Let's deal with the jobs first. Which one did you not work together on?
Okay. So we did work the census.
No.
We did do the
You want to
census.
just do what we did.
I'm trying to think of which ones we
We
had.
had the end.
Oh, we did.
He said, wait. What you
Who
mean,
said
wait?
wait?
You had the whole hour. Okay.
He said
the
fast.
fast food. Okay.
You're right.
Fast
You're
food.
right.
Okay,
You know
all right.
us.
Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Wait.
Wait for it.
Okay. Anything for the music part?
Uh-huh.
Bad by Michael Jackson is the one you didn't do.
We did that
we
one.
did
Your
that.
butt is mine. Yeah, we did that one.
We most definitely did that.
The one that we
Yeah,
did not do is I Got You Babe by Sonny and Cher.
Yeah, we did.
That's what I was thinking too.
We
I
did
just wasn't
Coming to
sure.
America. We did All Night Long. We did all those as a duet.
Yes. They're some very entertaining people. So said that's not a duet song.
It takes two of us to do it.
we made it. We made it a duet.
That was the second choice.
That was the second.
No, I ain't no duet. Okay.
We did.
All right,
that.
y'all. Well, you got one of them, Pastor Ray. So
That's right.
both of you have to let me know what you want for your prizes.
That's right.
All right. Okay.
Make sure you cup too.
Oh, okay. All right. I love y'all. Oh,
Love you.
Y'all too.
Thank
love.
They could be a
All
guest
right.
on our show too. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There you go. They're gonna be on the day show. All right. Now we are at the end. We are 7 minutes over, and it's okay. So, all right. Do you have any closing remarks, Doctors Aaron and Margaret Jamal?
You already said we over.
That's right.
You don't want to open that door.
Just remember to love God and love each other. Thank you. We love you too,
Okay.
Minister Rahman.
And remember to embrace God's perfect design, which is you. Till next time, Friday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is where we will be.
Yes.
Good night.
Yes. And
Good
show your
night.
love. Bye. God bless you all.
Weeping lasted all night. I know that joy comes in the morning light. So I march on to a new song, 'cause I've been marching to that old one way too long. And I gotta move on and take new steps every day. I know there is got to be